Oh, yeah. Welcome, everybody. My name is Kent. I'm joined today with Grandma. Hi, Grandma.
Hi again.
Hello,
How
hello.
are you?
Good, as always. You?
Yeah, I'm good as always.
Very good. We left it with a cliffhanger last time, as usual, Grandma.
Yes.
Uh, and the question was, do we have democracy?
Oh, sadly, we don't. We do not.
Okay.
Uh, you know, um, we were speaking last time about our um, prime minister who was saying um, we are about to lose control of what people are told.
Yes.
And she was referring to social media, of course.
Hmm.
And my impression is mm, that to regain some control of uh, their power. They was changing um, how elections go about, and so now um, the parties they choose who is going to be on the ballot, and we cannot change anything there. We just have a party to vote. We cannot move anyone up on the list or something like this, like we could before. And of course, that gives them great power because when the people in the party, if they oppose someone who is on the top of the list, they just throw them out of the party. So they are in control.
Yeah, and we see many examples of this. We see examples of this all over Europe, especially. Uh, and it's become a problem. This before we could write people's names on the ballots. We could adjust, we could accumulate, we could put the line over. And what do you think happened about this?
They 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 just changed it to be like they want without telling anyone. And um, so for me, and I think for many people, it was a big surprise when we came to the ballot box and we were seeing what happened to this to be to put people up on the list.
And you're
So
talking about
it
the
was
most fundamental right of a free person is you're
yes.
able to vote.
Mm,
Now, as you say, we don't have any power to change on the lists.
no, we
So
don't have
then
any.
it's a partocracy.
Yes,
Yeah. Here in Norway, we have the limit that the party pretty much needs 4% to make the parliament.
yes,
Yeah. I think it's pretty much like this in other countries also, yes?
something like this maybe. Yes,
Mm. So what happens to the parties that don't get 4%?
they are just left out, and also our mainstream media they are in bed with these people in the parliament, these uh, these people who see politics as a career, not to serve the people. And uh, the media they are aligned with them. They are not critics anymore. So
What is the best
democracy,
example?
democracy is a joke, just a joke.
What is the
It's
best example that people say one thing, as the politicians say one thing and do something else after the election? Every common people always talks about this. That
Yeah.
the parties say one thing before an election, and they do what they want after. Could you
Oh,
give
the
a good
recent
example for this?
example, yeah, the recent example in Norway is, uh, they spend millions on on to hire professionals in communication. And the latest example was our previous election when the Labour Party uh, said it's ordinary people's turn now. They said it was very effective because people believed this and they voted for this, And just 1 month or two after this happened, our electricity bill, for example, was 6 times, 7 times, 8 times higher. Gas went up. Mm, Old people had to close every room in the house to heat only one room to stay in. Some people, they had to choose between heat and food, and stuff like this happens in one of the richest countries in the world. And also, they sold out our water power to the continent in Europe, and um, the bill they sent to us, ordinary people.
Yes,
This is what
because
they are doing.
yeah, as I saw that I think it was the German railroads. I think they paid 30 cents as
Yeah,
yeah,
they paid
Norwegian.
30 cents, and I was paying during this winter, for example. Um, I was paying 7 crowns 50.
Hmm.
That's how much is that more? That's
At least 20 times.
20 times more.
At
Yes.
least. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
And that's a big problem for pensioners and people who are sick. And it's a very big problem. They have to choose between heat and food.
Yeah, as I see the percentage that we sell abroad of our power, is it like 5% or something like this?
I'm not sure. I'm not
I
sure about
think
this.
it's something like this.
Yeah.
And if it's 5% of the power we sell, we are basically importing the prices. We're not
Yes.
selling power, we are importing prices.
Yes.
And this go back to the politicians and if we have the democracy. Because if
Yes.
the politicians wanted people to have good lives, they wouldn't do this. Because this is
No,
evil, it's cruel.
it's very
And
cruel.
yeah,
It's
and
very cruel.
it's
Yes.
the basic needs in a society. It has to have cheap uh, energy.
Yeah. And
Ev-
every time it comes up an election, they are lying to the people. We are going to do this and that and this and that, and they are not doing anything of it. They are not serving the people.
Yeah,
And
and that's
when the
everybody.
politicians,
Yeah, and that's everybody of them.
yeah, and when the politicians is not serving the people, we don't have a democracy because the democracy is the people who is um, who is going to decide what's happening in society. But it's totally opposite.
If
We
I
are not deciding nothing.
if I mention the Swiss model to you with the vote,
Direct
and
democracy?
I'm yeah, as I'm thinking of voting. If there's a important case for the public, they will vote for it. Everybody goes to the ballot box and votes. What do you think about this?
No, I don't think that will help either. Because, for example, the Norwegian people was saying no to European Union twice, 2 times. But they made this agreement with EU. And now they say, yeah, that's why they was giving our water power away and sending the bill to us.
But this is the
And now
reason
they say
I
we have
disagree
to,
with you.
huh?
This is the reason I disagree with you. Because
Yeah, let me know.
if the people, I think it's 5,000 here in Norway, we had the signatures, and if we said to the government we want a vote that there should be a maximum price on power, for example, 30 cents, and if that went through in the people, they would actually have to maintain it.
I'm not sure they would.
That's a different thing. But
Yeah.
as the Swiss model, the politicians do that.
Mm.
I'm thinking a system that's voting for big things in the public should be something to at least consider.
Yes, 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 it should. But the problem is they would never allow it because it's not the people who is ruling. It's the politicians in the parliament who's deciding this, not us. We
Hmm.
don't have democracy. It's
Oh, we have the
that's
illusion of democracy.
yeah, we have the illusion of democracy. Yes, they are. We have elections, but it's not us who decides who is going to be in power. It's them. So, and the people in Norway, um, they live in this illusion that we have democracy.
Hmm.
I'm not sure if it's
Interesting.
worthy even to cast a vote anymore.
I agree with you because it's to give a vote for the traditional parties is a
Mm,
vote for keeping the system as it is.
yes.
If you don't vote,
Mm,
they will get to do whatever they want. I don't think they will care if you won't vote or not.
no.
So I think if you vote blank, it's one thing. But I think the only realistic option is to vote a party that's not in the parliament today.
Yeah. Yeah. The problem is the people will not do that because uh, because the media and the politicians, they are in bed with each other and they keep the Norwegian people in the dark. They don't know. They don't know what's going on. I remember back in 1999 or something like this. Uh, I was, how to say, I was a kind of lobby politician. I was working with the foundation to prevent child sexual abuse. And I was working together with a politician in the Christian party uh, to put up a bill in the parliament. And this bill went through. And that's one of the politicians, for example, that in today's election I would put her up higher in the list, you know?
Hmm.
But that will not be possible anymore. So
How have we come this far?
I don't know, but I think that's one of the things they was doing to take back some control of, because social media was and is a threat to them. So they decided to do something to not lose control completely. So that's what they did, and they didn't even they didn't tell anyone. And
Yeah,
the Norwegian people, they do not know.
but we agree. I don't think it's possible to change the politicians.
No.
I think the only hope is to get normal people to cast their vote and maybe open their eyes for different parties. Maybe they
Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
It's not much hope, is it?
But you know, Norwegians are known to be slow, very slow. So for something like this to happen, it will take decades, not years, decades. So we are stuck here with the illusion of democracy.
What about getting the signatures and getting a people's vote or something like this?
Hmm.
You think something will happen?
No, I'm sorry to say so.
What about so here in Norway? We have the royal family. If they were for the people, would at least do something about it? Yes.
Yes. Now, the King of Norway, he only have power if it's a war on the paper, of course. But if we had a king who was, how to say, if you had a king who was for the people and who was strong, and he would say something to the politicians, and that would straighten them up somehow, even though he don't have the power to he don't have the power to rule, except when it's war. But
I think many people that have watched the series that goes on Netflix. It's called The Crown. There is an
yeah.
example there of the Queen Elizabeth that
Mhm.
lectures her prime minister.
Yeah,
Uh,
our king could do that also, you know,
hmm.
and they would listen. If you go uh, back to the war again, because the war is so important. Our king and crown prince and the government, they was fleeing Oslo because the Nazis was out to get them, you know. And um, and they, when they was running, they ended up in a very small place in Norway called Nybergsund. And the Nazis, they had an agreement ready for the king and the government to sign. And in the discussions, if they was going to sign this agreement with the Nazi regime or not, our government, they was how to say, they was somehow they wanted to do this. And this was wartime. And the king had the power to say yes or no. He had the sole power to decide this. And actually, he had to use his power. And he said no when the German came to the door with this agreement. He said no. And I don't think our king today would not do that in a situation like this. And to be sincere, the king should have put his foot down much earlier when
But does he have
our
an
king.
obligation to do this?
No, but if the king was with the people, like he says he is, everything for Norway is his how to say slogan.
Slogan, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And when the people was voting no to join the European Union, not one time but two times, and the government was doing what they was doing, he should have said something, you know.
Hmm.
But no, he didn't.
So he should do something. The politicians should do something.
Yeah.
What about our courts? Should they do something? Can they do something?
No, they don't have any power in this regard, I think. Do you think they
No,
have?
no, I don't think so.
No.
At least there has to be a case in front of them, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe then.
Yeah.
So we come back to the people.
Mm.
We, the people, uh, mm, must do something. Is the only thing we can do is vote?
Yeah. And they have stifled this also, like we started with. So
Oh.
so the only conclusion here is we don't have a democracy.
Can we get it
That's
back?
it. I don't know. Depends on the people. But
What do you think would have to happen to make this a reality?
people have to wake up.
But we are in a mass formation psychosis. How can people
Yeah.
wake up then?
Yeah. That's the very big question. How can people wake up?
Okay, I will ask a different way then. What about foreign influence? What comes to
Yes.
mind if I say this?
Mm. Yeah. The MAGA movement in America is very, very inspiring. 80, almost 80 million people are awake in America. That's very, very inspiring. But what influence this have on the Norwegian people, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. We have in America, it's a jungle of free media. In Norway, it's two or three maybe, which they shadow ban, as much as they can. Yeah. And the people, they still believe in mainstream media, all the lies they are putting out all the time. The lies and the distortions and everything.
What about European influence?
Eastern Europe is very inspiring at the moment, like Hungary and Poland and Czechia and yeah.
Do you think they will influence here?
Yes, I think so. I think so.
Hmm.
The problem is again that Norwegians we are so slow, you know?
What
Yeah.
about our fellow Nordic countries then?
No, they are in the same soup. They are in the same, no, exactly the same soup.
Hmm.
So it's not easy.
No, it isn't.
No. But um, I don't think we should, how to say, even though I'm not very optimistic, I don't think it's reason to be depressed about this or something. Because um, as individuals, we can stay free. We can exercise our freedom despite we don't have democracy. Because at least they are not putting us in jail for not taking the vaccine or for speaking our mind. Um, they they are just shadow banning us and calling us conspiracy theorists and trashing us for not doing what they want and stuff. But we can stay both free and happy at the moment.
But hopefully we can reach somebody that's maybe not a so-called conspiracy theorist also.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can hope so.
Yeah. So what should we do then?
Go on, stay happy, exercise our freedom whenever we can, wherever we can, as much as we can. And hope and keep hoping that the truth will break through the barriers. At some point it will. I think so, but it will take time. But for example, with vaccines, it's a big topic in itself, but the influenza vaccine in one hospital in England, only 10% of the employees took this influenza vaccine. And of course, this is because they see and experience all the disease and death from the COVID vaccine. So they lost every trust with the vaccine. And it's a kind of they are not going on TV and saying, I'm not taking this because I don't trust it anymore. No, it's a kind of silent protest this. They are just walking away. They are voting with their feet.
But that's a good example of personal freedom and personal choice. If we want to keep democracy,
yes,
find democracy again, maybe it's a better way to say it.
Yeah.
We have to exercise our freedoms.
Yes, exactly.
The best way we can.
Yeah.
How
and
do
in that way, we don't have to care. We don't have democracy.
In that way, what do you think has happened the last years for the MAGA movement? You think it can find some roots here in Europe also?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
With time they can. When people discover how important freedom is, still will take some time before people discover this, but there are some small signs like this. 90% of healthcare workers is not taking this flu vaccine. So people are starting to discover that their freedom is very important.
Yeah. It seems like the best or the most interesting way forward is influence from abroad.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Um,
And we have to remember, in America, it's millions of Norwegians in America. They are not even Norwegians anymore, but in the 1800 and forward, almost 1 million Norwegians was emigrating to America. So
pretty much half of Norway, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I have relatives there. You have, I guess.
Yes.
Most of the Norwegian people have.
Hmm.
And a lot of them are a part of the MAGA movement. So, yeah, we just have to
I think they
exercise our
will.
freedom.
I'm guessing here, but if they knew the status of Norway today, what do you think they would think of it?
The American Norwegians?
Yes.
Yeah. I think they would be very shocked. Because at the moment they see Norway as the richest country in the world and the freest country in the world and the best country to live. And yes, that's how they see us. But we don't have democracy. We don't. But that's no reason to not. That's not the reason to not be free, because we can exercise our freedom. But because except from COVID, when they was putting people in, not in jail, but locking them up in hotel rooms and stuff. Except from that, we can still exercise our freedom. They didn't lock us up yet.
Yeah, but I think there's a big chance coming soon that people can exercise their freedom.
Yeah.
with a new round of this. So I think people can choose to wear the facial diapers and social distance
Yes.
and whatever.
Mm. Mm.
There's a
Yeah.
big possibility that something will happen again.
Yes.
Do you think?
Yes, I think it's a big possibility.
So we will see.
They will try to stop Trump one more time with something big, and we will see what it is.
I hope it doesn't happen.
Me too. I hope so.
Mm.
But in the meantime, and if that happens also, I will stay free. I'm determined I will stay free. Even though if they come to arrest me if I don't obey them, you know?
If there are such a thing, I will always say that I will always take the choice that saves my soul.
Yeah. Yes. Mm. And our soul is based in freedom.
Mm.
That's why I'm saying freedom is the most important thing for every human being.
If we are to have freedom and we are to have democracy, I think sound money is a big part of this.
Yeah.
Uh,
Real money.
yeah, what is real money and do we have it today, Grandma?
We have the possibility to have real money if we want. And
We
this
have,
is also a very big topic. And um, everything it has to do with economy is a big part of what is going on with this control and power grab and corruption and everything like this. Climate hoax, uh, fake pandemics, and big pharma and vaccines and everything, which has to do with controlling people.
I think real money is maybe a topic we should discuss next time.
Yes, that's a part of freedom.
It is. Interesting
Yes,
conversation as always, Grandma.
yes.
I would like to say thank you for today. Interesting as always.
Thank you also. And
Thank you.
see you next time.
See you next time. Keep listening,
Bye bye.
everybody. Thank you. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.